What is up, guys? Rick Cactus here, and today we are going to be discussing a strategy that you can use in the final boss encounter of the new Scourge of the Past raid that I believe is going to help a lot of teams kill this boss easier and faster. Now, I'm hesitant to call this a cheese, even though it would undoubtedly get me more views, because it doesn't really feel like a cheese, especially when compared to Atheon, when you're pushing him off the edge in Vault of Glass and ignoring all the mechanics of that encounter. You're still going to have to do the vast majority of the mechanics in this encounter. It's just a little bit of a shortcut that's going to help you ignore some and, again, help some teams out pretty substantially. Also, I do apologize for being a little bit late with stuff. If you're not following me on Twitter, you would know this, but I was in Sweden over the past week playing Anthem. That's right. Unfortunately, that's all I can share for now, but if you're interested in Anthem, absolutely keep an eye on this channel. So, let's start here with what this whole strategy really is. Essentially, normally when you're triggering a damage phase in this encounter, you have to go around, kill 2 berserkers, the right ones as directed by whoever's looking over the map in the map room, and then take those balls, plant them in the right places, and then summon tanks. Use those tanks to shoot the boss once his immune shield is down, and that triggers a damage phase. What you can actually do is picking up one of the berserker balls and waiting until the timer reaches 0 is going to result in that berserker ball blowing up. But that explosion, if you are in close proximity to the boss, can actually down the boss just as if you've shot him with a tank blast, and therefore trigger the damage phase. So, if you do this, here's what your encounter is going to look like. It all starts as normal, killing that first berserker, grabbing his sphere, and taking it to the map room, planting it there, and starting off this whole encounter, spawning the boss, and so on. You also do need the map room for just a little bit to tell where that very first berserker is that you have to go and get. Then, most of your team is going to immediately need to take down the boss's shields, which again is done by shooting the white objects all around his body. Now, 4 out of 6 members are going to be focusing on that. 2 people are going to be going to that berserker location and killing that berserker. Once that first berserker is dead, only one person out of that 2-man team needs to pick up the sphere and then just wait. Again, you wait all the way until that timer reaches 0, and then you want to rush the boss as it's like, 4, 3, 2, 1. Once it reaches 0 and you're right on that boss, it'll explode. You will die, but you will trigger the boss to enter a damage phase. Now, what are the pros of this strategy? Why would you want to do this? Well, it means that you can, for the most part, ignore the map room. Some teams will have trouble holding out in the map room and giving directions the entire time. You really only need that location of that first berserker, and then you can abandon that map room. So if you're having trouble with the map room holding out in it, this is something you're going to want to do. Additionally, you'll only have to kill 1 berserker per damage phase. So if you're having trouble getting the timing right of the berserkers, if you're finding that your team is often dying going to get those berserkers, this is something else that you can do. It also means that since you're only killing 1, you can dedicate a pretty large portion of your team to go over there and help kill that first berserker, and then grab the ball, everyone spreads out and takes down his immune shield after that point. So again, having trouble with the berserkers, this is something else you're going to want to do. Another pro is that as long as your team takes down his immune shield fast, a lot of the encounter is now just waiting for that ball timer to hit 0. So you're going to have a lot more time to lure the boss where you want him to be. If you want a DPS in the map room, you can spend more time making sure he's down that alleyway perfectly. Or if you want a DPS from one of the alleyways, like, wherever you want him to be, again, you can lure the boss where you want him to be to make your damage phase easier. Another benefit is that it can make dealing with adds, especially snipers, easier on your team, because normally 4 out of 6 members are dealing with berserkers / also dealing with those immune shields. Now, most of your team can just deal with the immune shields all together, take those down pretty quickly, and then entirely shift their focus on killing snipers while they wait for that ball to hit 0 and obviously lead him to the right direction as well. So it just means more time getting ready and prepping for that damage phase and just focusing purely on snipers instead of all these other things going on at once. However, there is one somewhat sizable con, and that is this is inconsistent. You'll run up to the boss, you'll be right near him, it'll blow up, and for whatever reason it sometimes just won't trigger. Or you'll be going there, 1, 0, it explodes, but the boss does a ground stomp and pushes you away at the last second, and you're not able to get him. So a well-oiled team that's already doing things very efficiently, you're having no trouble with the tanks, you may not want to do this and keep doing what you're doing. This is going to be something that newer teams, lower light teams, may want to employ to only have one guaranteed death, have a lot more time to set things up, and be able to avoid going forth, holding out the map room, killing another berserker, summoning the tanks that can cause some problems because you're spread out around the map and the boss is looking around all these different directions. You can cut all of that stuff out, and again, a low light team that's having trouble with those mechanics can employ this and just trigger the damage phases quite a bit easier. And that's really all there is to it, just grabbing that first berserker ball and getting right up to the boss as it reaches the timer of 0 and explodes, and then just doing a damage phase as normal. A quick tip here, since we're talking about the damage phase, if you want to trigger whispered breathing, so if you have a bunch of whispers that are masterworked, you want to do the 3 people, one to the right, one to the left, one in the back as like designated pillars so that they can zoom down sights beforehand and call out whatever buff they have, and the rest of the team matches it while they can continue being aimed down sights and get whispered breathing. But if you're having trouble matching your buffs, if you find that you're just not doing enough damage, then you want to assign buffs to the different locations. So continuous left, angular in the back, parallel to the right, and whatever you have, you go to those different locations to DPS. That's a lot more intuitive, and it's going to help people match a lot easier, but it's almost impossible to get whispered breathing doing that. So that's kind of something I wanted to also address. Guys, again, that's it for the video. Hope you enjoyed, found this informative, found this helpful. If you did, please remember to help me out by simply rating and especially sharing this video. If you guys want to see more Destiny 2 content similar to this, don't be afraid to slap that subscribe button. If you guys want to get in touch with me and keep up to date with the latest channel activity, the best way is to follow me on Twitter at RickCacus. That's linked in the description down below. Again, I hope you enjoyed the video, and as always, have a good day.